G'day there guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. Thank you for tuning in today. I do hope you enjoy today's stories. Now sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the barbie, and let's get right into it. Posted by a throwaway account titled, My 32 male, wife 35 female is suggesting that we open our marriage to my childhood friend. My wife and I have been together for 10 years, married for 8, and now have 2 small kids together. She is the love of my life, and I could not imagine myself with anyone else. About 3 years into our marriage, she started to show attraction to Asian characters in the shows and movies that we watched together on our weekly movie nights. At first, I brushed it off as a joke, but I realized she was serious about a month ago when she started watching Chicago Med. She joked often of wanting one of the characters, Dr. Choi, to be her doctor so he could feel her up. I laughed along until she insisted we stop watching when Dr. Choi got into a relationship with another doctor. Thinking about it now, throughout our entire relationship, Asian men caught her attention. For the past few years, she's been obsessed with popular K-pop members, joking how she would rather be with Eric Mun and Jimin. Even going as far as to say that she's disappointed she got stuck with a white man and that our babies aren't as cute. A friend of mine since childhood is Korean and visits with us often. He and my wife have become friends. I always thought that she acted weird around him, but I never took it personally until last night. As I was cleaning up dinner, she puts the kids to bed and asked to sit down and have a talk about something important. I was hesitant but agreed. She started it by saying that she didn't feel like our sex life was as fulfilling as it used to be. I was taken aback and asked what I could do to bring her more fulfillment. She suggested that we bring in a third person into our sex life. I instantly knew that she had someone in mind, despite her denying it. After an hour of talking in circles, she revealed she had been having sexual thoughts and urges regarding my childhood friend, and she suggested that I watch. I was stunned, and I told her that I didn't want to discuss this anymore and slept in the living room. She took the kids to school this morning and went to help her sister pack as she is moving soon. We haven't spoken since last night, and I don't know what to do. I'm sat in my car outside my office writing this. I don't want to go home and see her knowing what she's thinking about. I think I want a divorce as she's clearly no longer the woman I fell in love with, and I suspect she has already acted upon her urges with him. Is that too big of a jump over a sexual fantasy? In my opinion, I don't think it's too big of a jump. It is within the realm of possibilities, but if you're asking about the balance of probabilities, I think it's way more likely that she hasn't done it yet, and she wants you to give her the go-ahead. I honestly find it hard giving my side of stories here because in a previous post I was like, talk to your wife, feel out the situation some more. And everyone in the comments was like, this is way past the point of talking. What's wrong with you? Talking is not ideal here, but in my opinion, is communication not the best strategy to just decide where you are and where to go from here? Because yes, you have communicated and it's ended in a fight, but I think further communication is required to see where you both stand on this and whether this is a hill to die on for her or not, because the vibes I'm getting here are that this is her hill to die on. She's been slowly building up to this throughout the last few years that you've been married. In my opinion, this is definitely something that you guys can work out together, although I see it very likely that you guys don't work this out and it ends in divorce and she gets what she wants, you get away from that dumpster fire. In the comments, SnooWord says, she is asking for you to approve her obsessive fetish. She needs to get some therapy, especially if she can't handle an actor on TV being in a relationship. It's one thing to like an actor or character, but when it interferes with reality, it's an issue. Yeah, this is a really strange and obsessive fetish. She needs serious professional help, but the OP doesn't necessarily need to stick around while she, hopefully, gets it. Pesky Penguin 83 says, don't fall for this crap. She wants to sleep with your friend. She is using your lack of fulfilling sex life as an excuse to get what she wants without guilt. Do not fall for it. In my opinion, there is no coming back from this. Therapy she will either deny or just say that it is not working, may even eventually cheat on you. I personally wouldn't say divorce is an extreme here. For real, especially because it looks like OP's wife is fetishizing Asians. Yeah, his wife seems so weird and creepy, especially with her comments being disappointed marrying a white man since their babies won't be as cute as mixed Asian babies. So gross. Adultish Gambino says, I'm Korean, and I don't think your friend would even want to sleep with her if you told him all of this. Her fetishizing your friend is definitely weird and gross. Get your divorce. If she wants a Korean man, she can move to Korea and date there. She doesn't need to pick the first Korean man that she knows. Honestly, upon seeing those comments, I think you guys might have a point with the talking ain't gonna work here. Update. First of all, I want to thank the community for the support. I'm sorry for the late update. Things have been busy around the house. To fill you all in relatively quickly, I returned home the night that I made the post, and my wife and I were still not speaking. I waited until she was putting the kids to bed to make a call to my friend. I wanted to talk to him alone. I slipped outside and made the call. I told him everything. He told me he was so sorry for me and that my wife's behavior was disgusting. He then confessed to me that a few years into my wife and I's marriage, she, drunk, made a move on him at a mutual friend's party. It began as flirting, and my friend was not entertaining it. She kissed him, and he left the party early. I asked him why he never told me about it, and he said that he didn't want to ruin our marriage over something she did while drunk. They never spoke about it, and continued as normal friends. Now that a week has passed, I figured out that this party aligns with the start of her strange behavior towards Asian men in media. I thanked him for sharing this with me and hung up. I immediately went inside and confronted my wife. I was officially disgusted with her for pushing a kiss on my friend and suggesting that I watch her be with him. I told her exactly how I was feeling and what my friend had told me. My wife admitted that she only asked to open our bedroom to him because she had feelings for him for years and wanted to keep herself from cheating on me. I explained that she already had and wrecked the foundation of our relationship. I told her that we were divorcing and not to try and stop me as I was not changing my mind. In the last week, I have been staying with friends and family. She has done nothing but harass me via my number. I'm proud to say that I have given her no attention. I see her still while stopping by my house during the day for my kids. They are too young to understand what's going on. As I mentioned in my last post, they attend a daycare/schooling program for young children during the summer, and as a result, I never spend long in the house and typically leave while taking them there. She won't mention it in front of them, so it hasn't been an issue. I've been seeking out a lawyer for divorce proceedings and looking for an apartment in my kids' school district. I feel freed, as many of you are right. Our marriage has been dead for a very long time. I'm not sure if I can ever see my friend the same way. I want to start therapy and try to work on it. He's been a very close friend since childhood, and I would hate to lose him. My friends and family have been very supportive, so have most of you on Reddit. You've helped me very much and made me feel valid in my feelings, and I thank you all for that. Edit. Thank you all so much for the advice on not leaving the house. I will be returning to spending nights there immediately. I do not want to risk losing my kids. In the comments, on that topic, someone says, get back to the house immediately, as it could be seen as you abandoning the kids and the house. And OP says, thank you for telling me this. I only do not sleep at the house. I go while my kids are there, and leave while they are gone, and spend the nights away. The home is owned by my wife's parents, so she's not leaving. I am there every day. Their daycare schooling program has those who drop off their children sign them in with both the child's name and yours. This is proof I have been seeing my kids for the last week and driving them there. I have this and many photos of my children from this last week. This situation is extremely temporary, as I now have a move-in date for an apartment nearby. Does this all work well for me? I really doubt that she'll fight me on custody at all. In the brief conversations we have had, she brought up our kids and what to do. We seem to agree 50-50 is the correct thing. On the fetish, OP says, I am replying to comments regarding legal help or advice about what to do with my wife and kids. I am not replying to comments about her having a fetish. I think you're all correct about that, but it's not my focus in any way. I'm worried about my children. Venetian Harlequin says, quote, I'm not sure if I can ever see my friend the same way. While he was wrong to withhold the information regarding her kiss, I really feel like your anger is misdirected here if he never reciprocated her advances. Therapy is definitely needed regardless. I agree. He needs to be angry at the soon-to-be ex-wife. He needs to be disappointed in his friend. Had his friend told him what had happened, it would have made the divorce so much easier, and he may not be tied to his soon-to-be ex-wife via kids. That ship has sailed. Depending on the marriage laws where OP lives, his friend staying silent has now locked this man up for alimony and child support and having to deal with a manipulative and toxic, soon-to-be bitter, baby mama. The level of fetishization, to immediately assume that the friend would be on board with it if the husband said yes, it's as though she's seeing the friend as an object who will go along with her whims. Especially when he's already turned her down. If I was the friend, I would be so repulsed. She's assuming that he can be used for her pleasure at her whim. Sad that she seems to regret having kids with him because they're not mixed race. I hope the kids never find out. I'm honestly now really concerned that it's going to slip out in some way. With the upcoming divorce and the destruction of her marriage, there is always the possibility that she could get drunk and say something that she will regret around her kids. I think it's more likely that she has more kids in the future with an Asian man and completely abandons her current kids for her perfect life kids. Well, that's a grim one. I'm glad that it ended, but damn, it could have ended a lot sooner. And yeah, another case where communication could have helped people, could have helped avoid situations like this, but it didn't. Because the communication didn't happen, so I don't know how to feel about the friend either in this instance. Obviously, the wife is a complete write-off, but I'd feel pretty betrayed by the friend in this instance that he never said anything. Anyway, I'd like to know what you guys think of this one down in the comments below. Our next post is by user Dollar Dolphin, titled, "Am I the asshole for sleeping in the guest bedroom after my husband continues to take showers at 3 a.m. with loud music?" My husband has started working night shifts, 8 p.m. to 3 a.m., over 2 months ago, and has since been using our ensuite bathroom for showers after work. This would have been okay, but he plays loud music through the Bluetooth speakers and claims that he needs it to wind down. I have asked him repeatedly to use the shower downstairs, and have even set it up for him with the same product that he has in our ensuite. I've been using the bathroom downstairs every morning so that I don't disturb him while getting ready for work, but he refuses to do the same. Since I'm a light sleeper, and after being sleep deprived for so long, I decided to sleep in the guest bedroom yesterday. He claims I'm being petty and should talk to him about this, as opposed to just sleeping in the guest room. The thing is, I have tried talking to him about it, but I usually don't bring up the discussion as or when it's happening, and prefer to do it the next day after work so I'm not upset and can have a rational discussion. He's been going around telling our family and friends, and they all think that I'm being petty. I'm not sure if I'm doing something wrong, or how else to go about dealing with the situation. I need to know if I'm the asshole. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. Not talking about the issue when it arises, and repeatedly requesting the same thing, claims I'm being petty and vindictive. Honestly, I have so much respect for you for leaving it to the next day when you're not pissed off and high on emotional rage. I know most people wouldn't do that. Most people would charge in there, scream the house down, and change this pattern of behavior right then and there. Whether that is the right or wrong way to go about it remains to be seen. It obviously isn't going to happen in this situation because you are a nice person. Feels like you're taking a very diplomatic approach to this one. But we got a situation of the kettle calling the pot black with you being petty and vindictive by not causing drama, not causing fights between you guys, but him going to the family and bitching about your marriage issues is not petty and vindictive? I'm sorry, but this guy has no leg to stand on for doing that to you. If you're going to discuss this with him and he's going to dismiss you, you have no choice but to do what you do, which is just keep the peace. You're very good at that, and he's exploiting that. So no, I absolutely don't think that you're being an asshole in this instance, but I know people like your partner here, and I know how frustrating it is to deal with things like that. Sometimes, those kinds of people just need some tough love and some tough words to get them to change. So, not the asshole. In the comments, Renegade Dragonfly says, "Not the asshole. He is in fact the asshole for being so bloody rude and then having the audacity to whine to everyone about marital issues. Tell him to buy some waterproof headphones and stop being an idiot. I'm sorry, OP." OP replies, "Thank you. I got him the Jabra Elite 7 after reading reviews, but he insists that it's not the same. I thought he was being difficult because he's getting used to night shifts and settling into a new routine, but this has become unbearable. It's a choice that he has to make. You can sleep in the other room and he can have his DJ showers, or he wears headphones. His unwillingness to see that or negotiate is patently unfair. Start taking loud showers in the AM. He isn't respecting your sleep time/reasonable request, so pay him back in kind. OP replies, I'm very tempted to do this. I usually wake up at 5 to go to the gym before work. Would that be too soon? Do it. Play Pump Up the Jam, it's a banger in my opinion, and tell him that you needed to psych up for the day. Orange Skynut says, you're not being petty, he's being childish. An example of being petty would be giving him a taste of his own medicine and showering in your bedroom's bathroom with music blaring. Is it petty? Perhaps. Should you do it? Absolutely. Because he is obviously not receptive to having a conversation about it. OP replies, the amount of times this has been suggested, I don't know why it didn't cross my mind. I'm gonna start working on a playlist for tomorrow morning. Let me know if you have any suggestions. Joe Stapler says, you can stay with this jackass if you want, but do not let him impregnate you. And OP says, I appreciate your concern. No intentions of having kids anytime soon, but I swear this is the first time he's acted like this in the 4 years we've been together. Update. To the kind people of Reddit, thank you so much for all your suggestions. I love my husband, but sometimes being petty pays off. Sorry for the long post. I started the morning at 5:30 with a quick run on the treadmill. Our home gym is right next to our bedroom. Thank you to the Dart of War for the idea. The poor guy woke up and practically ran into the room thinking someone's trying to break in. He looked terrified. He was confused and concerned as opposed to angry when he was questioning what I'm doing and if everything is okay. I told him that I'm too tired due to lack of sleep and didn't want to drive to my spin class. I thought that it's a good idea to have a quick workout at home to wake me up and to stimulate endorphins. Either he was stunned into silence or was too tired to put up a fight. It took him a while to ask how long I planned on working out for. I said 45 minutes and didn't catch the response he mumbled as he was leaving. I finished my workout at 6:15 and had a smoothie hoping he'd fall asleep, if he hasn't already, before hopping into the shower and carrying out phase 2. With the doors locked and the volume set to what I guess he usually listens to music on, I put my playlist to work. I now realize that you can't really hear the music with the speakers outside the shower unless the volume is relatively high. 30 seconds into the first song playing, Awakened by Death Clock, thank you Jack Isn't a Squirrel, I hear knocking on the door. I figured I could use the music and shower as an excuse to claim that I didn't hear it later. This increased to banging, calling out to me by the second song, So You Die by Bloodbath, thank you Dr. Stitch, and by the third song, Die Motherfricka Die by Dope, thank you Horror Commission, there was complete silence. I think he only stuck around for so long since heating up another room might have taken a while. Thank you everyone for the music suggestion. I wish he stayed for the whole playlist. By the time I'm out of the shower, our bedroom is empty. I found him watching TV downstairs. He asked me why I would do this when I know he's just finished a long shift and hasn't had any sleep. I told him that I thought it was acceptable since he does the same thing. Like most commenters pointed out, the whole situation shows lack of care, and I was curious why he doesn't care and what caused him to change so drastically, because he usually isn't like this. After a lot of pushing, he finally admits that he likes our conversations after work and figured that if I was up, we would talk. I don't understand how this is the thought process of a grown man. He claims he didn't realize that it was an issue for me because I haven't been as angry about it. Here I was thinking the situation required patience and understanding. I also realized he's still grieving his grandmother's death. She passed away in April. They used to talk on a daily basis, and he hasn't fully accepted the loss and processed it in a healthy manner. He's open to the idea of getting therapy to process the grief. I don't think this excuses his behavior, but it does explain a lot. Getting back to the showering at 3 a.m., we have agreed to the following. He will use the shower downstairs after working night shifts. If he wants to use our shared bathroom, as it has a jacuzzi, he will text me before I go to bed and I'll sleep in the guest bedroom. I realized I was pretty much doing this to myself after the first week. I've learnt that I don't owe anyone comfort at the expense of my well-being and shouldn't have let it go on for so long. Yes, he's immature and childish, but I'm hoping we can work on it together. Thank you everyone for their suggestions and concern. I understand that all couples face challenges. These incidents in isolation don't necessarily paint an accurate picture of the relationship. Like I mentioned in the comments, he's been very considerate and loving except for a few isolated incidents, less than 5, during the 7 years I've known him. I don't think that it's reasonable to expect someone to be perfect 100% of the time. I also feel the need to point out that no one should use this statement to stay in an abusive or unhappy relationship. If you've made it this far, I appreciate you. Apologies for the long post, but I'm low-key proud that the pettiness paid off. Sorry for any typos. I'm still sleep deprived, but looking forward to a good night's sleep tonight. In the comments, Kumayan Sybil says, quote, I didn't think it was a big deal because you didn't really get mad. Lord, if I get woken up at 3 in the morning, you're gonna know you effed up. But I shouldn't have to call down lightning for you to figure out that loud bullshit at 3 a.m. is not okay. I tend to wake up angry if I'm shaken by someone violently or heard loud noises, mainly because my sleepy self really hates being shaken awake after years, and hearing loud noises is an immediate concern if it's waking me up since I'm an otherwise deep sleeper. I detest being woken by people noise, weird bang, odd beep, distant scream, strange what woke me up moment. No problem, let me go check. But if I can identify what woke me up as avoidable noise that someone made because they couldn't be asked to be quiet, I'm coming out in full angry possum mode. Currently dealing with a 44-year-old housemate who goes out and gets stumbly, fumbly, can't hear myself talk drunk before returning home, usually with her latest hookup or friends who want food, at 3 a.m. I had this happen a while ago. Got woken up in the middle of the night by what sounds like a toddler getting stabbed to death in my backyard. Was really freaked out for a minute until I found out that it was just foxes screwing. I wish I could have learnt that lesson at any other time besides 3 a.m., but you know, people acting like couples sleeping in separate beds is the end of a marriage. For some couples, it's the best thing for them since well-rested people tend to be a lot less assholey. For real, my husband and I have had separate rooms for most of our relationship. It started with him working night shift, and he had a bad childhood that means he doesn't relax as well with other people around, and I'm self-conscious about my snoring. We've had a pretty good relationship. Was a time back in ye-olde days that it was considered properly civilized. Couples sharing a bed at night was what the poors did. Folks who had money had their own bedrooms. How about you guys? Do you sleep in the same bed as your partner? And for those of us singles, do you leave your hand in the other bed, or is that just me? Is that not normal? Either way, I'm glad that he got a taste of his own medicine, and I'm sad that it was because of, really tragic reasons, and not that just he was being an asshole. It's unfortunate when we run into real human beings on Reddit, and not people that are just born different and we can yell at and feel good about. Because, I don't feel entirely great about judging someone for still processing the death of their grandmother. That is a very deep thing, and, I feel bad for him. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to end today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it down in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.